Hello everyone, my name is AP the Word One, and welcome back to episode 10 of Full Metal Panic Fumoffu. Our title of the episode is Fancies Without Honor or Humanity. It is a Yakuza-based episode, and it features a return of Botokun, which is a bit funny. It has some accumulation of past events that culminate into a very beautiful episode. Our journey begins at the beginning with Kamina watching a Yakuza movie. She's not necessarily a big fan of it. How like all the guys go out and kill each other using knives, and just leaving one last man standing. She's not a big fan of it. She preferred that the good guys supposedly would use some guns, landmines. Ren here remarks that you sound like Sasuke. She kind of gets a little irritated by it, but whatever. Kamina's like, wait, do you like Yakuza movies? And she's like, not particularly, but she knows something about it, alluding to what's to come in the future. Following that, Sosuke comes in. He's a bit distraught. His investment from a Belgian man hasn't produced good results. Only the FBI and the Miami police are interested in. Which maybe if he had sold a little bit on the design better, maybe it would have sold better. We'll figure that out. I know what it is from just before the episode began because I knew what it was really referring to, Botokun. But yeah, I was like, oh, this is gonna be good. Anyway, so they continue to have a little chit chat. They go out for something known as Trident Yaki, which is like something like fried food. It's actually made up, which is interesting, given the next thing they bring up. But we run into a couple of familiar faces. The guys from when Botokun made his first appearance. These gentlemen, they're the one who asked Kamina and her old schoolmate. So we get to see them back. And we discover that they're part of the Mikihara gang, which is, Ren's last name. It's her father. One thing to note from the light novel, before we continue, is that she does have a nickname known as Oren-san. And she gets this nickname because she's, has a good looks, her beautiful hair. In the light novel, it's black, graceful bearing and demeanor. So that's kind of how she got the nickname. Just something to bring up. I don't know if they've ever say in the anime. Maybe they do as English. I would understand it better. But yeah, she's got this nickname. Kind of point out the origin of it. So yeah, they get beat up by a rival gang. This new gang. They're messing on their territory. And they need some help from, our good man Botokun. What's funny when she threatens the man, I can call Botokun in a matter of minutes. And Light Novel's like, I don't know if this would necessarily work. She's like, it's kind of like a bluff, but which is strange because in the anime, I believe she'd whistle and he'd come. And it's in the Light Novel perspective, it also makes why would she be surprised? Why is she not confident considering she knows who is inside Botokun? She knows this is Sosuke. The light novel is strongly hinted. Same with the anime. She knows who's inside. So she should have seen that he would come back, given that he's made another appearance. So he's made a couple other appearances. So I'm a bit surprised. But anyway, they agree to train the men. Ren's father isn't happy about it. We do get to, they do talk about a little bit of this gun called the T-54. I did do a little bit of research on this. This is what the Chinese gun, it just seems like it's a robust gun that's probably easy to make and very small as well. So something that you could handle in Japanese society and not get caught with it. That seemed to be the point of it. It's also semi-automatic. So a little bit of extra rapid fire. I don't know. It was kind of... learning about this gun and what the hell they what's so special about it was kind of a bit hard to understand. But anyway, it's their gun. Anyway, moving on. In the anime, they do a big time training session where in the light novel it's very short and sweet. Don't want to give too much detail, and it's probably hard to describe. But that's what the anime comes in, gives it about a bit about their training session, how things are going. Unfortunately, it doesn't go well. They got too much power behind they're not very bright. Their power is hindering them from thinking intelligently. Sosuke was just trying to train them to get to even ground with his opponent, but that's not happening. Uh, but I do appreciate the more exaggerated training session, and eventually it. Oh, right before the scene, I the girls get Kamina and Rendu get kidnapped. Sosuke is getting into his Botakun for training, and he discovered, and it's revealed that unless uh, the the voice changer is active, the system won't work. And they even said that in the light novel, like, yeah, it can't work without it. So they kind of just showing it right here, like it just shuts down. One thing I found funny is, like, I was thinking about, like, isn't this like a little miniature version of the AS? And it turns out that I wasn't too far off reading the light novel. It turns out, yeah, it is. It has the movement assistant, like, so all the weight is not carried into the user, so they can use it better. But yeah, it's kind of funny, like, there's a miniature AS, and maybe that's how he should have sold it. Like, this is a little smaller AS unit. And that's me. I should have sold it for different groups. Just say it's a smaller version of AS. But yeah, anyway, after the Ren get captured, Botakun and the Yakuza, they have their outfits and go bust them down. This is a very hilarious moment. All the spares come into play. In the light novel, at least in the covers, I'll show the new ones don't have all these have gray eyes, whereas you can see they have a different variety. It's purple. This is brown. But yeah, they bust them down, take care of the group. I feel like I should have laughed more during this episode, but I really didn't. And then, of course, one of the final scenes is our favorite police officer gets excited about Botakun being back. So, very funny. There's also reference to I was thinking about not the rugby players. I was like, man, these guys rugby players are more competent than these guys, and they actually kind of reference them. Like, not to say that they couldn't have been better, but like, just how the rugby team was better acclimated to the training better. But yeah, that was kind of the end of the episode. Very funny. I absolutely enjoyed it. But that begs the question, from this light novel, what could they have also adapted from 2-5, the Unquenchable 5 Alarm Fire? We have left is the After School Peacekeeper and the Lost Old Dog. Now, I have already read ahead, of course, without further delay. Before we move on, I guess this episode you can't replace it. You definitely need this one. It was, learning a little bit more about Ren's backstory, another continuation of the Botakun. It's always very nice to see him again. Very funny. Right. But let's move on to the After School Peacekeeper and the Lost Old Dog. Now, of these two, the Lost Old Dog, I really wish was made into an anime. It is very sweet. So I'll talk a little bit about the After School Peacekeeper. So the After School Peacekeeper begins with these children basically fighting. They've got some rowdy language, boy oh boy, and they're fighting over these two territories. There's this little girl. She tries to get one of her love interests to get away, but nope, it doesn't happen. And she eventually comes to the school to deal with ask Sosuke and Kami to help the situation. Kind of be a negotiation for both sides. It ends up not going very well, and Sosuke ends up destroying both areas. Like, there's a little park and then a basketball field. He ends up destroying both. I will show a picture of, let's see, I kind of think this is a bit of a dejected look. Let me get my video capture device ready. We do have this moment. It's, we see Sosuke and Kamina and the little girl talking. There was also, let's see. One thing that the girl and Takami and talk about is why Sosuke is being so hard to do negotiations and not being more violent. Is maybe he's trying to impress Kamina, which is a little bit funny given the next episode. But yeah, I just thought I would show this picture. There is one more I will show later in just a sec. But I This the After School Peacekeeper I think is a bit funny. I wouldn't mind seeing this animated, but the Lost Old Dog is heartwarming, and I really kind of liked a little bit of the setup to it. So we have in the beginning we have Kamen and Sosuke. They're walking home from school, and they get targeted by an old man, and Sosuke kind of notices this. He asks Kamen to buy something, not realizing what it is. It was a pregnancy test. He didn't care what it was, but he was just kind of like, just put this in the bag. She gets mad at him for not realizing what it was. He's being very dense about it. So yeah, Kamen just gets upset, leaves home, and Sosuke runs into this old man and kind of look for a Louis Vuitton bag because it holds something precious to him. Now, what exactly this leads to is what they hinted at. So, Kamine is at home. She's angry at Sosuke. She gets a phone call from her aunt, and this is I love the setup where this is gonna go. She's like, ask her how she's doing. I'm like, hey, I'm fine, okay. And then she hangs up, and she kind of thinks back to her family, her father and mother. They elope. They're not very well liked, and this aunt is on the mother's side. I should specify, and they're. She starts thinking about this old man, by this pond, and you realize that, and your brain starts thinking, and yes, it goes where you think it's going. I love the setup. Anyway, Sosuke and the old man, old captain, he was a lieutenant. They from the World War II, from the Solomon battle. He's a survivor. They finally get the Louis Vuitton bag that was stolen from this high school. And Sosuke thinks it's like nerve gas, which he tries to get the police involved, but the police are like not buying it because he's harassing an old man. But it's what he's really after is this diary from his daughter who died 3 years ago. He found it and he wanted to give it to her granddaughter. And of course, the granddaughter is Kamina. And it is I love this. I love the picture that they do have here. I'll bring it up. This is one at the very end. Kamina is very happy to see the old man. Like, oh, my grandfather from years ago. This is just a sweet little picture. That's definitely one I really wish would have been animated. Like, you could have done the After School Peacekeeper and Lost Old Dog. That's probably the downside of this anime. Like, wish there was like longer episodes. Now, probably you could have replaced Uncooperative Bluebird with that one, with the Lost Old Dog and maybe After School Peacekeeper, or kind of combine the two. Because Lost Old Dog, I'm like, you learn a little bit more about Kamina's family, because she's definitely had her various tragedies with her father and sister going off. That's being in the being part of the UN and living in America, just stuff like that. It makes you wish we got a little bit more into Kamina. It make you feel a little bit better about her. Not to say she's not a bad character, but it just to see that, just to learn more about her background and what she's gone through. But anyway, I'll see you guys next time. This Thursday, I'm not going to have an episode because it's Thanksgiving here in America. I spend a little bit of time with the family. Might be just my dad and I, but still just a little break. We'll pick up Uncooperative Bluebird and the 5th Period Hotspot the next week. And of course, we'll take care of the last of the light novel bits for the short story volume collection 2. Anyway, guys, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hype if you can. I'm a bit sad this is ending, more so just because of all the short stories and stuff that that have not been talked about, and the anime itself is a fun ride. But anyway, catch you guys next time.